Money don't matter if it feels for you. Money don't matter if you're home. Money don't matter if it feels for you. I used to worry every day. Now I got better things. Because I'm hurrying, slow down and take control. Gotta stop worrying about your problems, you should know. Because I'm feeling like my life is such a mess. Because the world has got me in it. It's my time and I should live it. Oh, money don't matter if it feels for you. Money don't matter if you're home. Money don't matter if it feels for you. I used to worry every day. Now I got better things.
This should be a short video. We're just taking long division and expanding on it a little bit. So there's a couple of questions in the worksheet that you have for classwork. I think it's entitled 7.2, and you're going to use that again tomorrow. So check this out. Now that you're familiar with long division and how it works, we can use it to determine a few things which are kind of cool. Like, for example, is this thing a factor of that given polynomial? So I guess you could factor this thing, and come up with something like this. If you could, maybe with the grouping method, because I see that there's 4 terms, right? But, essentially what you'd be looking at is this, x minus 1, and then something in here. Now, we can use long division to figure out if this is actually the case. Can this polynomial actually be factored where this is one of the factors? So we're just going to do long division, and if the remainder is 0, then it's a true statement. So we're using this remainder idea to say if the remainder is nothing, if it goes in cleanly, well then it's certainly a factor. So let's give that a shot. Okay, so I've set up my long division, and I'm going to work it out right now. So I think to get from x to x cubed, I've got to multiply by x squared. So x squared times x is x cubed. X squared times minus 1 is negative 1x squared. Remember, we subtract. These go away. 9 minus 1 would actually be addition, so that's 10x squared. Drop this guy down. How do I go from x to 10x squared? I would multiply by 10x, and it would be positive. Okay, so 10x squared, as expected, minus 10x. Remember, we subtract. Let's use parentheses. This cancels. Double negative again. So this is really like saying negative 8 plus 10, which would be 2. Bring down my last term. And how do I go from x to 2x? I would multiply by positive 2. And if we do that, check this out. There's no remainder. So, remainder 0. If this happens, this is the key. It's very big, especially for the regions. If that happens, remainder 0, you can definitely say that yes, x minus 1 is a factor of this polynomial function.
The math dance. Plus, 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 plus. Minus, 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 minus. Multiply, multiply. Division.
Okay, example 2. Use long division to determine if the given value is a root or a 0 of the given function. Okay, so if x equals 3, was truly a 0 of this. In other words, if I said set this equal to 0 and I plugged in 3. Now this is definitely not what I want you to do, but it's, it's a great way to verify whether or not it is. But you'll probably be asked to do this algebraically using long division. But this is just a little refresher for you. Remember, this is what it means to be a 0. If you plug in this value for x, will this become 0? So, I don't know, off the top of my head, 3 cubed, that's 27, plus 4 times 9, which is 36, minus 36, okay, minus 27. Does that equal 0? Well, this is nice because look, 27's cancel. Oops. Yeah, okay. This is 9 times 4 is 36. Okay, that's better. And those cancel. So yeah, okay, this is definitely a 0. But algebraically, how could you do this? So you use long division, and you say, okay, if x equals 3 is in fact a root or a 0, imagine that that factor that came from was probably this, x minus 3. Right? Because if you were dealing with some kind of t-chart situation, you would say x equals 3. So let's take this factor, x minus 3, and see if it is a factor of this polynomial. And if it is, absolutely, then this root or 0 is 3. Let me clear this out. And let's try. Okay, so how do you go from x to x cubed? I would say multiply by x squared. That would give us x cubed, as expected, minus 3x squared. Okay, double negative, so we're talking about 7x squared. How do you go from x to 7x squared? You would multiply by positive 7x. Sorry, I forgot to bring down this term. Cool. Okay, that goes away. Again, double negative, so negative 12 plus 21 sounds like 9. Bring down the negative 27. How do you get from x to 9x? I would say multiply by positive 9. Okay, nice. Check it out. Remainder 0. So if this is a 0 of this polynomial, then the factor would go in evenly with no remainder. And that's a way to show that 3 actually is a 0. Now, like I said in the beginning, you can always plug it in just to see for yourself so that you know if this is going to be a yes or no answer, you know. But the work is up to you, and you have to do it algebraically using long division. Okay, last example. Let's use long division to factor. So if you're given one factor already, x plus 4, what would the other one be? And then, depending on what this is, maybe we've got to factor that, right? You never know. So we're given this one factor and this polynomial. We want to figure out what's the other factor right here. So let's set it up. Now, careful, it's missing some things right here, wouldn't you say? Like x to the first and a constant. So I don't think we're going to need it in this example, but it's a good habit to stay in to write those in. So let's do that. Let's divide x plus 4 into x to the fourth plus 6x cubed plus 8x squared. Let's throw in the placeholders. Plus 0x plus 0. Draw this hideously curvy line. That should be straight. Okay. Let's do the long division. Whoa, what happened? Okay, it's over. That's it, we have a zero remainder. So, if you notice, I could bring down this, but that wouldn't do anything. I can bring down this, and that wouldn't do anything. So, we're done. Now this is the other factor. So it would go here. X cubed plus 2x squared. Now we would be done if it wasn't for this. Whenever we do factoring, we always like to say factor completely. So let me erase this and then factor the rest. It'll only take 2 seconds. Okay, so x plus 4, that was given. Now we found the other factor using long division. And I want to factor this. Looks like only GCF would work. And now this is our answer, but let's make it look nicer. Let's put the x squared first, followed by x plus 4, followed by x plus 2.
I feel infinite.